Joy News investigations have revealed that the longest bridge in Ghana, the Lower Volta Bridge, has been without street light for the past 5 years. The 650-meter-long bridge on the N1 highway was tagged last year as a security zone by the Volta Regional Security Council after a secessionist group threatened to attack the bridge. However, Joy News is learning that even with the deployment of military men to the area, the bridge has been without street light, raising concerns of public safety. Last year, Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba captured this.
It's about 11 p.m. here on the Sogakope Bridge. It is pitch dark, and this has been the state of the bridge for many years now. The street lights here are just for perhaps purposes of aesthetics. For a lot of motorists, it poses a danger to them because of visibility issues. For a lot of the residents also, it becomes dangerous for them to cross this bridge around this time. Maxwell Lukuto is a resident of Sogakope.
The issue that occurred and then resulted in death of the young man in Tefle. It was in the night. He was actually coming from a prayer meeting in church, and I believe it was around 11, 12 o'clock thereabout. The visibility was so poor that the guy who was riding him on the motorbike lost track of exactly where the wrong section was, and trying to swerve, another oncoming vehicle knocked him off, and that resulted in the death. So the MP, the DC, and those who matter, highway authorities, the maintenance section, they should have their eyes on this bridge because it's a very critical national asset, and anything that happens to it becomes a national security issue.
So that was a report on the same bridge 4 years ago. But the situation has not changed, as my colleague, Blessed Soga report. Residents are worried about this persistent problem and appealed to the government to intervene.
Well, so we are here on the Lower Volta Bridge. It's popularly called the Sogakope Bridge. And for those of you who are not aware of this piece of critical infrastructure, it's a bridge that links and connects the national capital, Accra, to the southern parts of the Volta region. This very infrastructure we are talking about has been under threat by secessionist group Western Togoland, which earlier last year threatened to attack this bridge, and hence that prompted the deployment of a military contingent to constantly supply security to the area. However, one piece is missing out of that puzzle in solving the problem. There's completely no light here, and it's blackout here in the evening, and this has been the case for the past 5 years on the 600-meter stretch, which has seen many cars, many vehicles, many individuals, and many revelers use, and it's beginning to become a concern for residents here in Sogakope. For those of you who are not aware of the area, it's in the southern parts of the Volta region, and where we are now stretches all throughout into the town itself. But you can come with me just to have a feel of how people with us here walking and using this area do not have any access to lights. They do not know what's in the dark out there, and you can just come along with me to have a feel of what's happening here. So there are some railings here. Initially, we understand that these railings never used to be, and in fact some cars used to veer off the road into the river, but that has been addressed. What's the bigger problem here is that these cars that you see pass by could just run into anybody because there's simply no street light here on this critical piece of stretch. And it's the same story, if you could just come with me, throughout the whole 600 meter, and residents are calling for action. In fact, let's speak to some of the residents and try and understand what their concerns are, particularly as there are growing reports of cars knocking down individuals on this piece of stretch, and also the accompanying concern about security.
Seriously, this bridge, I think without this bridge, it will be very difficult for cars to be going in and out. Yeah, because this serves as a very highway. Without here, you can go to Aflao, Ho, Hohwe, Menshi, and Pando, you can go there. It's only this bridge that connects everybody to that place. So I think the way there is darkness here, I think when you are even walking, you are afraid. You can just, so even when cars incidentally, when they were even passing mistakenly, they even fall inside the bridge for some time ago. But before the letter came and do this. And then I think light is very important to be here because it is very dangerous to be walking in the dark on the river. So you can easily get attacked. Even cars can just stop and then just attack you, put you inside without anybody's knowledge about it. So I think if light is here, everybody can live in peace or without any fear moving on the bridge.
When you went to Atipoku, that bridge is just something small. But look at how they did it. Look at how they did it. And this is the longest one. And Atipoku is not ECOWAS road. And this one is ECOWAS road. I think the government to do something about it. And I know that the ECOWAS president is our president.
Right. That's Nanado.
Nanado. I think he can do something about this one. He can do something about it. He can do something about it. We need a light on the bridge though. They should repair the bridge very well. When you sweep door around 4 going and a big car has passed this bridge though, you can hear it.
You can feel it?
You can feel it on the bed that
does it shake? How does it shake?
it shake. And even though when you are in your room, when you are in your room, you feel it.
Feel it?
You feel it.
Feel it?
You feel it that the ground is shaking.
How does it shake?
It shake like how it shake something like that. You will feel it.
We were told that they are coming to make a new one so that it no cost. They put that one outside on the pillars outside the bridge so that it no cost accident again. Since then, we wrote to Ghana Highways Authority, Honorable Maukwawoi, Honorable Louis Agaman, and then the current DC. They are trying a lot. To do all these things, but still,
how about your member of parliament? Have you reached out to him?
Yeah, also we went to him.
How come there's no solution to this problem?
All the time they say it has come from the Ghana Highway Authority, because they have control on the bridge, because the money that the tolls, they are controlling the money, so they have to fix everything on this bridge. Even about 3 years ago, the joints. Create maybe people came and then make those
report.
So it took the assembly members, the DC, the MP before, and then some of the opinion leaders before they came in. Then they patched some. Right now, let's see if you're walking on the bridge. It's something like experience. I don't know how.
So even the bridge is not. It's shaky, right?
Yeah. So it's shaking. Last time I was at Sukwe. Yeah, I was there. There's a big crowd passing. The bridge was shaking, so we don't know what will happen here. What is happening? So we don't know. So we are appealing to the main authorities, especially Ghana Highway Authority, come to our aid. To fix the light, especially the lights.
The light. I see that the light is your concern.
The light
now,
is very, very important.
And also, assembly member for the area. What is staggering is that when they stand as well, that somewhere last year, this very bridge was threatened by the secessionist group, Western Togoland group. Yeah. Tell us about it.
Let's say, right now, let's say something wants to happen, and then there's no light on this bridge. Though we have military men over there, but to me, that's no solution.
Right.
There should be a light.
What was a threat last year? What did the group say? The breakaway group?
They want to destroy the bridge.
So the group threatened last year that they were going to attack.
Attack the bridge.
Tell us about that.
They want to attack the bridge before we informed the DC and then some opinions before the military men came in. So now they are protecting the bridge over here.
Now, DC for South Tongue, Seth Agbi, joins through phone for some discussion on this issue. Chief, good evening and thanks for your time. How long has this challenge persisted and what effort have you made to address it?
Thank you. Good evening, listeners. This problem was there for a long time, about 5 years, as people are saying. When I resumed office, I tried to meet the Highways Authority in Who, the director. I met his president twice. So I still pursuing him to let him know the problem we are facing in South Tongue as far as bridge is concerned. There's a lot of vibration when cars are passing. Vibration. It's not easy at all. Very serious vibration when cars are passing, especially heavy cars. Okay. So they need to attend to our plight. Otherwise, you see, we have lost a lot of people lives, innocent lives on the bridge. So I can't see why this bridge should not be fixed properly. Yeah, the light, even the night, we are passing, you'll be afraid. You can't pass. You see? So I'm trying to meet the highway authorities, sit down with them and discuss the possibility to do before the bridge is fixed, and then we have light on the bridge. This is what I'm doing currently. So I visited there twice, but I made the absence.
Now, what is needed on a bridge? A street light. How difficult is it for the assembly to fix street light on this bridge?
When I resumed office, I applied for about 1,000 street lights. And then the bridge too, I'm considering to fix. To make my MP to talk about to have a plan for fixing the street light on the bridge. That's what we are doing. Even this afternoon, we discussed on phone how to fix this problem.
Now, have you channeled these concerns to the regional minister and other agencies? You mentioned the highway, but what about the regional minister?
Yeah, I mentioned about twice on it. He directed me to what do you call Peter Road, and then the minister to meet them before maybe after.
How worried are you that, given the fragile nature of the security in your area, street lights would be needed?
Very scary. Very scary. As a DC, it's my duty to make sure innocent life that is lost on the bridge to stop. And then there should be light on the bridge. It's my responsibility, and I'm going to work towards it to make sure we find a solution to this problem.
Well, in your own words, it's a very terrible situation. If it is,
very terrible.
What immediate steps are we to expect from now on?
Well, as a leader, you have to make sure your people are comfortable. So, as I told you, I'll pursue those who are concerned to come to it.
Okay, all right. Now, joining us through Zoom is Richard Kumado, who is a security consultant, to help us discuss this further. Now, how much of a worry should this be to the nation and not just residents of Sogakope?
Now, it is a major issue because that is an ECOWAS road, and vehicular traffic is huge. Cross-border crime is huge on that particular road. It's not too far from Dabala, where you have a standardized security check for many years now. And I'm a bit worried because there's no light on that particular bridge. And with the history we have that the secession group wanted to attack the bridge, and we are creating awareness on terrorism, for which Togo is very close, and we can attest to the fact that there has been a terror attack there. I think the security management around the bridge needs to change, and we have to treat it with a sense of urgency and let every person who matters in some level of activities around the bridge wake up to their responsibilities and let's get the job done.
I'm sure you have more information than we do. How fragile is the security condition on that road network?
No, it's very fragile. If you are familiar with that particular stretch, Sogakope is a middle of the road. The stretch from Kase, where we call that junction, right down to Denu or Joje. And it's a very serious thing. Anything can happen to us. And it's a very sensitive national installation. And if you are talking about an issue of terrorism for which they want to hit you hard, then these are some of the areas they'll be looking at. And we might have military there, but at least visibility makes it easier for monitoring purposes and for critical observation purposes. And I'm saying that considering the nature of this particular road as an ECOWAS road and the lengthy nature of the bridge, we cannot joke with it like we joke with any other thing. Let's wake up, let's put ourselves together, and let's fix at least the light there whilst you look at the repair works in the subsequent days.
Now, we understand there's some military presence there. Is that deployment enough to foil any terror threat?
No, they don't even have light to see. They might have some binoculars that enables them to see in the night. But giving them light will enhance their visibility. I don't know the capacity of the soldiers there. I don't know the total number of them. But I know that that place is not too far from Dabala where they can call for a backup. What we need to do is for them to be a coherent activity, and they need to strategize in a manner that the element of surprise doesn't take them down. Other than that, they are playing with fire, and it can bite them any day soon.
Is the street light the only solution to the problem, or there are some other factors that we need to consider?
One, you need to look at the people who ply the road. Number two, you need to look at the capacity of the bridge and what it can carry and what it cannot carry, considering the fact that all bridges have their lifespan and they have their maintenance span. We will need to follow and strictly and ensure that we've made it. You are talking about terrorism, you are talking about economic hardship. When that bridge goes down, it's going to create problem for you, not just for your food security, but for economic activities. That will rather put pressure on government. Then you are also looking at checking strictly to ensure that no contraband goods are being used on that particular bridge. And because of the sensitivity nature of the bridge and the strategic location and the viability of the bridge, all the elements of threat come directly to the bridge, and all the sensitivity of security risk assessment is directly to that particular bridge. And we must wake up to our responsibility irrespective of wherever we find ourselves.
Richard Kumado, thank you very much for your time this evening here on Joy News Prime.